Before time began, before the stars filled the heavens, before the earth existed, there was only God. There was no light, no sky, no oceans, and no living creatures. Everything we know today began with the power of His spoken word. Then God said, "Let there be light," and light burst through the darkness. God separated the light from the darkness, calling the light day and the darkness night. This was the first day of creation. On the second day, God created the vast expanse of the sky, separating the waters above from the waters below. On the third day, the waters gathered together so that dry land appeared. God called the dry land earth and the gathered waters seas. Then the earth sprang to life with grass, plants, flowers, and trees, each producing seeds according to its own kind. On the fourth day, God placed the sun in the sky to govern the day, the moon to rule the night, and countless stars to illuminate the heavens. On the fifth day, He filled the seas with fish and every kind of sea creature, while birds soared across the sky. On the sixth day, God created every animal that walks upon the earth. Then, unlike everything else He had made, God created mankind in His own image. From the dust of the earth, God formed the first man and breathed into him the breath of life. His name was Adam. Seeing that it was not good for man to be alone, God caused Adam to fall into a deep sleep. From one of Adam's ribs, God created Eve, the first woman. Together they lived in perfect harmony with God in the beautiful Garden of Eden. The garden was filled with everything they needed. They could eat freely from every tree except one, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God warned them that if they ate from that tree, they would surely die. But Satan appeared in the form of a serpent and questioned God's command. He convinced Eve that eating the fruit would make her wise like God. Eve took the fruit and ate it. Then she gave some to Adam, and he also ate. Immediately, everything changed. Their innocence disappeared. For the first time, they felt shame and fear. When they heard God walking in the garden, they hid among the trees. Although God knew exactly where they were, He called out, "Where are you?" Adam blamed Eve. Eve blamed the serpent. Sin had entered the world, and with it came suffering, sorrow, and death. God pronounced judgment on the serpent, the man, and the woman. Adam and Eve were driven from the Garden of Eden so they could no longer eat from the tree of life. Cherubim with flaming swords guarded the entrance, and paradise was closed to mankind. Yet even in judgment, God gave a promise of hope that one day a descendant of the woman would crush the serpent and overcome evil. Outside the garden, Adam and Eve began a new life. They had two sons, Cain and Abel. Abel became a shepherd, while Cain worked the ground. When it came time to worship God, Abel offered the very best from his flock, but Cain brought an offering that did not come from the best of his harvest. God accepted Abel's offering but rejected Cain's. Instead of changing his heart, Cain allowed jealousy to consume him. One day, he invited Abel into the field, where he attacked and killed his own brother. It was the first murder in human history. When God asked, "Where is your brother Abel?" Cain answered, "Am I my brother's keeper?" Because of his sin, Cain was cursed to become a restless wanderer upon the earth. As generations passed, the population of the earth continued to grow. But instead of becoming more righteous, humanity became increasingly violent and corrupt. During those days, the Bible tells us that the Nephilim, often called giants, were on the earth. They were mighty warriors and men of great renown. Their appearance became part of a world that was drifting farther and farther away from God. Violence filled the earth. Wickedness spread everywhere. Human hearts continually turned toward evil. As God looked upon His creation, He was grieved by what mankind had become. Yet among all the people living on the earth, one man remained faithful. His name was Noah. And through Noah, God would begin one of the most remarkable stories ever recorded.